G'day all, Farmer Gregie here. Well, I did just go for a walk down the paddock and I was going to do a little recording down amongst the cows, but unfortunately outside today it's blowing a very stiff southerly and got a lot of interference over the sound, so you just wouldn't have really heard me. So I've come back to the house here. I'm just in Nan's house and I wanted to do a little bit of a catch up with you guys. Of course, we still have issues on farm, not having enough signal to be able to do Facebook Lives when I'm on farm, so quite frustrating, but I'll just record this and upload later. I guess it's fair to say I've been very challenged in the last month or so, and surprisingly, when sometimes you think things are going really well and you're back on top of your game, I continue to have some inner challenges. And as I've often said to people, I'm one of the most openly vulnerable people I know, and I know that drives some people insane. But for me, it's very important for me to share my experiences, and I know that by sharing sometimes what I'm going through, that can help other people. It doesn't become about me then if I'm sharing my battles or my story. When people are watching that unfold and looking at what's happening to me as I share, they're really internalizing that and seeing some of their own challenges. They're actually translating that to whatever they're going through at any given point in time. So I really do believe that I've been battling a bit with depression again recently, and some of you would have picked up on that, and thank you for some of the messages on Facebook that in some of my recent posts. It is incredibly frustrating when that happens because I am a predominantly positive person, but sometimes you let the negatives just get a hold of you and drag you down. And I was going to do this post or something like this just a few days ago, and I'm so glad I didn't, because it was going to be woe is me, and the world's conspiring against me, and I'm failing at everything I try to do, and that's how I felt just a few days ago. I really was dragging myself down with that, and I am a strong believer that all things happen for a reason, and incredibly, what are we up to? It was just 3 days ago. An old mate of mine who I don't get to see real often these days came and knocked on the door, and I had been pretty much in the house all day that day, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'd had a shower and hopped back into my pajamas and had my gown on, and Al came in and, what's going on, Greggie? And he's battled depression as well, and we've spoken before, so I kind of unloaded on Al, and he said, well, this is no good. You need to get out of the house, first of all. And it was just such incredible timing, because I had intended to go down the coast that night and meet David Nomchong, the CEO of Inner Origin, who I've now become involved with. So I was very excited about that the week before. And I told Al a little bit about Inner Origin, and he got a bit excited too. And he said, well, I can go to that tonight too. You get in the car. We've got to go for a drive. We'll go down there and go to this event. And we did. And the other thing that Al said to me that afternoon, he said, you've got to get online and check out an audio book called The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And so I did that immediately. And it's on YouTube. It's 6 hours long if you want to listen to the whole thing. But I had a lazy next day. I didn't do a lot. I stayed in the house, but I listened to that entire audio. And since then, listened to Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret, which was mentioned in The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And it really was incredible to me. I mean, it's just kind of flipped my thought processes and what I was doing to myself, just dragging myself down. So, if you get into a state of that self-defeatist kind of attitude, and you feel like the world's got it in for you and there's nothing you can do to make a difference as hard as you've been trying, as soon as you get in that space, you're right. You're absolutely going to be right. And for me, it was just a bit of a light bulb moment that when I'm in that headspace, I have no potential whatsoever to find solutions. I will not find a solution to any of the problems I'm trying to solve. So, that was despite my desire to keep on working on myself and get back in that better headspace consistently. I do slip in and out of these semi states of depression, and when you're in that space, you just will not be able to solve or resolve any of the issues that you've been working towards. So I guess I'm clicking back into gear now, and I do get asked a lot by people, and just conscious I'll sort of check the time fairly regularly. I do have a tour coming on farm fairly soon this morning, so I'll go and get into that as soon as they turn up, and then straight after the tour we've got a day on farm. One of our friends in the scenic rim, and it's run by Queensland Country Life, called Food Heroes, I think they've called the day. So that'll be exciting to go to. It's actually the farm it's being held on is the farm of one of the daughters of dairy farmers, and many of you would have seen the great work they've been doing, and those girls are going to be featured today. I'm thinking that the three of them will be there. I'm not sure yet, but certainly Lisa and Joe will be there. And they've done incredible work in creating awareness, and I guess there's going to be a bit of a forum, so it'll be really cool to see them speak to the people, and just to see how the forum flows today. But there'll be many local farmers there, which is great to see them get together and I guess join forces, which farmers need to do more often. But getting back to in this space, and I'm very comfortable speaking to a wider audience. I do love to interact with people through the Facebook pages, speaking at functions and events. I absolutely love doing that, and I'm keen to share whatever knowledge I have, but I'm always open to learn as well. I need to keep learning. I need to keep making improvements to whatever it is that I'm doing as I progress through this journey that life is. So people do ask all the time, very conscious people, about what's going wrong in our society, and where we can't quite figure out how to make improvements, or how to reach the solutions we're working towards. And people are asking me, how can we help? We're supporting you, we're buying your milk, and people who, if they do see our yogurt or cheese in store, they're supporting us in that way, which is fantastic. I mean, it's thanks to guys like you that have been supporting for real products that we're still alive, coming up to our 4th year in business. So we did only start in 2013, but it is a very challenging time right now. It's true, we're just not experiencing the sales that we need to. We're not finding a placement for all of our products. So how can people help? Well, as individuals, it's critical that we keep exercising our right to choose and to actually make moral and ethical decisions in the way we shop. You can know with confidence, if you're supporting a product like For Real, that you are supporting local farmers, and you've had the opportunity to connect directly with me, either in person or through the Facebook pages or at functions where I've spoken, which is great. But the reality for me, and the really big challenge that I've faced in the last month, is that saving my family farm was not my vision. I'm big picture. I'm much bigger picture than me or my farm. So while it's critical for us to survive, so I still have a voice in a public space, my vision was to start saving other Australian dairy farmers one family at a time. And we haven't found a way to do that yet. And the thing that's really ripping me apart right now is that we've had the conversation with, 2 years ago we were unable to supply the market, and we brought on a second local family farm, and and unfortunately since that time we've experienced a decline in sales. Even though a year ago, we had all the incredible press about the price war on milk, and the way dollar a litre milk was crippling Australian dairy industry, which it is, that is true. We've seen that again in the last 2 weeks, and I think that's what caught up with me, just get another run in the media over the past 2 weeks, but nothing's changing. So I call that Aussie apathy. We can choose to do differently. We can change our spending habits today. We don't even have to wait till tomorrow. But as a collective, we're not doing that. So in Australia, we're just not experiencing the support for the farmer, even though people are kind of starting to understand the importance of supporting the farmer. We're not seeing a transition towards supporting local. And when we say local, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me that we buy all of our milk from Victoria, bring it up from the southern states, but that's what we're doing in Queensland. We're actually allowing the 400 dairy farmers that are still alive in Queensland to die a slow and painful death. Unfortunately, that's happening. Farmers continue to leave the industry. And we saw publicly, only a month ago, Parmalat said, Vince Houlihan said in public, it would not hurt Parmalat's business if they were to source all of their milk from the southern states and truck it around Australia. Well, if you're one of the 200 dairy farmers in Queensland, I think they've still got about 200 supplying Parmalat, and you're not currently under contract because there's a dispute going on at the moment about the contractual arrangements, then you would be fairly nervous. I know I would. But the reality is, that's big. That's the big business side of the problem. The little business side of the problem is that we brought on one more farm to meet the market and saw our sales decline, and we've actually had to have the conversation with our other farm that, barring a miracle, we have to let you go. Like we've tried everything we can think of, and everything that we can afford, because it's tough to be involved in marketing and promotions on a small scale with a limited budget. And at this stage, we just haven't found a way to shift enough milk to keep that other family on. It's not fun. That's not fun. That's kind of making what I'm trying to achieve feel like a lie. And that's the really negative side of, the reality of the situation and the way I've been feeling in the last couple of weeks. But I don't want to focus on that. We need to focus on the solution. How can we stop this problem recurring? So I know a lot of you guys have been supporting us, and that's fantastic. We've chosen not to be in Coles, Woolies or Aldi. They have approached us, but we're in only independent retail outlets. For some of you, that's not convenient, so you choose to continue to go to Coles and Woolies to buy everything. But unfortunately, that's not sustainable. That might appear to be working short term. The reality is long term. They're not about offering choice to you. They're not about competition. They're actually about eliminating competition, and that means eliminating high quality local produce on a small scale. They're not interested in carrying any suppliers who can't service their stores Australia wide. So that represents a very big moral dilemma moving forward, as less and less of your local producers stay alive in business. It doesn't matter if you feel compelled to apply morals and ethics to your buying habits or your spending choices. You won't have a choice. It won't be there. It's happening now, but we continue to support them as they continue to move products to their own branding and eliminate small local producers. Now, the challenge doesn't really disappear when we go into the small independent retail outlets either, because we're in 300 retail outlets. And that should be plenty of retail outlets to shift the milk we've got. But it's not happening because a lot of them are struggling to stay alive in business. A lot of IGAs and foodworks that we're in over 100 IGAs now. They're fighting the unwinnable war against the huge corporations in the retail space. They're trying to do this price matching, and that's only going to hurt them in the end because they don't have the volume. And you're never going to win a price war if you're not shifting volume. It can't happen. It's just a mathematical reality. So we're also experiencing, as many of you have told us, that our small independent retail stores, some of them are fantastic, by the way. They are huge supporters of For Real, and they bend over backwards to make sure they always have plenty of product in stock, and they promote us to their customers because they know that we're a draw card to their store. They get that, and it's working for them. But we do get a lot of feedback where the ones who don't get that, who are just stuck in the unwinnable war, they think milk is milk is milk and For Real is too dear, and they don't really care about stocking us. So even though they do stock us, they continue to run out of supply. So we have people telling us all the time, still today, that they go to buy and no For Real milk on the shelf. Usually it's in the cold room if you ask, but sometimes lately it's not even been in the cold room. And people are being told by these stores that, oh, there's a problem with supply, which is untrue because we're sending a tanker load of milk off our farm, raw milk, unbottled, every week, and we're bleeding money doing that. We're doing that at a loss. So it's really hard to get the truth across. So doing what you're doing is awesome. Supporting us is critical. I suppose we need more of a ripple effect. You know, many of you have spoken to your friends, which is also great. Many of you have converted your friends. But maybe we need to see a bit more of that. You know, maybe we need to see, for a store to truly want to support us, we need to see more people wanting to buy For Real products through that store. And maybe that is you and a half a dozen of your best friends in your area. Maybe it's more than that. It seems so simple, but you know, if all 300 of our retail stores sold an extra 2 crates of milk per week, that's 36 litres. We probably, to be fair, 3 crates of milk, which is 54 litres of milk a week. That would enable us to keep that other family farm on. We would be able to keep on paying them a fair price for their milk instead of forcing them to go back to the broken system. And it was always my vision to grow and bring on more and then move into other regions and duplicate. So we haven't been able to do that. So it probably is too late. I'm saying this now, I'm in a better headspace. Let's work towards a solution, and it's probably too late. But I'll share the link to our website, and if you want to share that link to your friends, we have an awesome tool on our website. The store locator it's a Google map with all of the stores that we know we're in. If you know we're in a store that's not on that map, please let us know in the comments, and we're always updating that map. It's a bit tricky. We are in some stores that we're not even aware of. It's been hugely challenging for us to work with Metcash. Metcash do distribution to the IGAs and foodworks around Queensland, and unfortunately they don't provide us with any reports. We've hassled them ridiculously, and I think they've only ever given us 3 reports in about almost 2 years since we've been with them. The reports would tell us which stores we're in and how much milk those stores get, so we could actually monitor and see how the stores are travelling. we have no idea which Metcash stores we're in, other than feedback we get on Facebook. So that's not really beneficial to us trying to move forward either. Metcash are only 15% of our milk sales, even though they have 600 retail stores across Queensland and into northern New South Wales. But we still deliver milk. 85% of our stores are delivered directly by us. So that's one area that I think we really could make a difference, the ripple effect of friends talking to friends and supporting local in that way. I guess another way that you could help me is, and I have spoken a bit about it recently, I am very excited to now be involved with a company called Inner Origin. They are going to be a game changer in the retail space. It will take a little bit of time for people to transition, because we've been so conditioned to doing our shopping at a retail outlet. We are moving towards online shopping in a big way. It is happening, and that will mean home delivery. Now, many of you know we tried hard to work on the home delivery model a year ago. We put it out there. We were going to make it happen. We just couldn't logistically make it happen on our small scale. Inner Origin are a company that's only 5 months old. They will grow very fast, and they will, in the coming, I would say, 18 to 24 months, offer the complete grocery line, fresh food and refrigerated goods. They don't have the logistics to do that yet. They're working on, it's critical that they work on sales volume before they implement the logistics. They understand logistics because one of the co-founders, Sally Ann Ferguson, brought Aldi to Australia. She was one of a very small team of people who brought and launched Aldi in Australia. So she knows logistics. The critical thing for them at this stage, at this early stage of business, is for people to transition and start shopping on their online platform with the products they do have. They currently have, well, I've only been involved for 1 month, and they've gone from 350 products to 700 products in 1 month. David, the co-founder and CEO, David Nomchong, spoke in Brisbane last night, and incredible statistic that he told us all in the room, that they have 200 merchant partners in a queue waiting to be processed with products to come online. 200 merchant partners, all with multiple products, no question. Many products each of those partners would have. So it will grow quickly. The critical thing is, to growth, people actually coming on board and buying what is already available, and then you will get it home delivered at a very reasonable delivery cost. And I can provide all of that information as well. I'll share the link to my page. As now an advocate, which I am, and I have applied to become a merchant partner, so I'm somewhere in that queue. But our ability to put milk, yogurt, and cheese on the platform won't happen until they are doing refrigerated goods, potentially sometime next year. But I do have a Farmer Gregie page on the Inner Origin platform, and I can share that detail with you. There is the ability for you to become an advocate like I am and share the concept with your friends and family as well. So the growth of volume will be critical to their, their overall growth Australia-wide. Early stages, 5 months old, they're distributing out of one central warehouse in Sydney, and they will have multiple locations Australia-wide with distribution centres and the logistics to handle fresh food and refrigerated goods. So that's really exciting. Why is that so exciting? Well, if you dig a little bit deeper into Inner Origin and you check out their philosophy, they have built the entire business model on your health and wellness, on the importance of our health and wellness as individuals. They are looking at truth on label I don't know about you, but it is so frustrating today to try and find out what is in a product. Even if you read a label, it's a jungle. Like, um, you don't go through too many words before you hit a bunch of numbers that mean nothing to you. But even a lot of the words mean nothing. You don't really know if some of those ingredients are toxic or not. And many of them are, by the way. Same with cosmetics and personal care, healthcare, a lot of supplements. We've got to get back to strict standards on the things that we're putting on our skin and in our body. And that's what Inner Origin are all about. It's an incredible philosophy. It's the first time I've really seen anyone in the retail space as a collective body, as an organisation, apply the level of ethics and morals that they are to not only the business but to the merchant partners who are accepted onto the platform, and then you as a consumer, once you start to engage as a consumer, you decide which products stay on the platform. No other retailer has ever done that. Retailers drive you towards the products they want to sell. Inner Origin allow you to decide what stays on the platform with your feedback. That's a critical difference. Again, never seen that before. So it's a very exciting and new model. It is a company that started in Australia only 5 months ago, as I said. They haven't officially launched yet. They're in what they call soft launch mode right now. Their grand opening is on the Gold Coast in July. So things will really start to happen quickly later this year. And they are going to take this model globally. So David and Sally Ann were in the USA for 2 weeks over just this month, late last month, early this month. And they will be launching into the USA in the coming months. So it will then go through Europe and across Southeast Asia, all around the world. It's incredible what they're doing. So that's another area where you could certainly help, because as an advocate, which I am, anybody else who becomes an advocate or a customer within that platform generates lifetime commissions for the people above them. And likewise, if you share that with your friends and family, then you will generate lifetime commissions below you. And it's a very different model to anything else I've ever seen in the form of direct sales or multi-level marketing. It's very different. But you really need to do your due diligence, like I did, and make a decision for yourself about how you feel, maybe about getting involved. I'm also speaking to them about becoming an ambassador. They don't have a farmer ambassador as yet, but their ambassadors are amazing people. Renowned cardiologist Dr. Ross Walker, Pete Evans, Paleo Pete, Sally, mental blank. So Stephanie Rice, Olympic swimmer, and Lane Beachley, surfer, Kurt Pengelly from In Excess. So Sophie Faulkner, TV presenter, some very high profile people. People like that, to get involved with a company like Inner Origin, what have they got to gain, really? They've just got everything to lose. They're putting their reputation on the line. And if they back the wrong horse, well, they stand to lose a lot of reputation. So again, they've done their due diligence. They are committed to this company, and they have absolute confidence in what's going on. I guess the final way, and I do need to head to my tour very soon. The final way you could help, and I would love for you guys to jump on board with this. I don't know how many times in the last 4 or 5 years since I've been on Facebook and had a social media following that I need to write my story. I need to publish a book. Well, I am doing that, and in a way, I've taken a leap of faith on the support of you guys, but it costs money to do that. And I've really, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I just decided it needs to happen, and I've got to throw about $25,000 of my own money at making it happen. Sure, eventually, hopefully, I'll sell enough books. My problem right now is, we've got so many other financial challenges going on that I'm struggling to find the money to make it happen right now. I will be in Melbourne, flying to Melbourne tomorrow, and I'll be in a book writers retreat over the weekend, which is it's going to be amazing. I mean, the bulk of the book is going to happen over the weekend. I've already nutted out a couple of chapters, and there'll certainly be the context of a lot of things I've shared over the last few years will make up the content of the book. But you can jump online right now and support that book in buying a pre-order, which I'm happy to sign. But a signed copy of my book, Holy Cow, I have a GoFundMe link, and the GoFundMe link is gofundme.com/Farmer Gregie book. I'm also running a really exciting competition. Well, I think it's exciting. I know whoever wins is going to be thrilled to be a part of it, and that's the winners will experience that in September. I've got all the details of that on my GoFundMe link in the updates section. You can check out how to enter the competition to become one of the Farmer Gregie first 11. So there will only be 11 winners, and it's going to be a very exclusive tour experience of the milk factory and robotic dairy, and staying afterwards for a braai, which my good mate from originally Rhodesia and South Africa, Derek, will be cooking up a braai for us, and then a few drinks and a bit of music afterwards. You can stay on for as long as you want, and that'll be here in the backyard at my nan's house. So by buying pre-orders, and whoever does, share that with their friends and family. If you get your friends to tag you in the comments when they pre-order their copy of the book, if you let them know you'd love to win this prize and they'd love to see you win, then all they need to do is tag you, and whoever accumulates the most amount of pre-order book sales will be one of the first 11. And so all the details of that are on the GoFundMe link. And I guess that's about it for now. I'm going to run out the door and go and meet a few new visitors to our farm and show them what goes on in the robotic dairy. If you haven't been for a tour experience yet, love for you to come sometime. We are running them all the time, and the details are on our website, forrealmilk.com.au or roboticdairy.com.au. And we often have updates, of course, and photos shared to the Facebook pages. So thanks so much for your support, guys. I really do appreciate it. I guess I feel the need to apologise for my ups and downs in this journey. It is pretty challenging, and sometimes I do tend to take things a little to heart. But I'm working hard on myself, and hopefully I can maintain a better headspace and continue working on solutions rather than focusing on problems. Okay, we'll catch up soon. Cheers.